They found wood. We got wood in Oak Island.
They did find wood, lots of wood, and planks and stones.
Sticks and stones, and that's about it, right?
That's it.
We got some boards and some boulders. Boards and boulders, sticks and stones, and beads.
And glass beads.
Glass, Venetian beads.
Venetian beads.
All right, well, it is time once again for OIW, everybody. Oak Island Weekly. It's our new podcast. We're jumping in the middle of season 12, everybody, because you know what? Why not?
Why not?
We're just going to get stuck in the mud like the rest of them.
They are stuck in the middle of a swamp in the muddy area.
You know, I wrote a note here. Like, if I were to subtitle this episode, and I might do it, I might just start calling it OIW : in the title, so that everyone knows if you're a fan at least of the OIW. And this one I would call The Money Pit Stalls Out. Yet again.
Again. It seems to be the reoccurring problem with that money pit. First, it was the swamp. They didn't know how to drain it. Now it's this area, and it's still associated with the swamp, and another delay.
They hit a... What did they say? They hit a boulder underground, and it caused the borehole to go off course?
Well, that's a speculation.
It's speculation.
Because they don't have a camera that goes with the drill to see where it's going.
I mean, what are you going to see under there? It's dark.
Oh, fine. But you can see a boulder, maybe.
Well, it's pitch black, so...
Fine.
I'm so over the next week on Oak Island teasers. Whoever edits those, by the way, you do a great job of building the hype.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
But I'm not getting fooled anymore by you. I'm over the emotional hook.
You mean the 10 years of following the show wasn't enough?
12?
12? Wow.
Season 12. I don't know. I feel like they are continuing to just dance around the same old theories over back and forth, and but I also feel like they're making progress somehow too. Maybe it just feels that way when you watch it from like you said, the way we have over the amount of years we have. It's like, well, they've uncovered this huge structure on lot 5, and they found the stone road in the swamp and the eye of the swamp, as we got reminded of on this episode, and some other there was a lot of like previously on 2016 and previously in 2019, and it's like, man, we're going way back here.
Right, because they have to bring those stories back in order for people to realize, oh, this is exactly what we are talking about here.
Well, I get it, yeah.
Because there was a lot of theories floating around, and they are still being floated around.
Yeah, I mean, like last week I feel like they were like on Templars, and then like this week they're back on this. I wrote his name down, Frederick Phipps.
The guy that fibs a lot?
The Fibs, yeah. Oh, thank you. William Phipps. There he is. I wrote his name wrong so many times before I finally found the damn... It's Phips, by the way, in case you're wondering. I guess I could have turned the subtitles on, but yeah, it's more fun to look it up on Google.
Yeah, that way you get a detailed story. You get more than what is presented on the tube.
Let's get into a quick recap of this week's festivities, shall we, before we sort of end the show with our thoughts on where things are heading. We started with the outdoor drilling, which was kind of where we left off, I think, the week before, and we were back outside. Alex was there, Steve Guptill was there, and Julian Parsons. I wrote their 3 names down. They were the big 3, and I think Charles might have been there as well. He seems to be all around this outdoor digging thing, Charles Barkhouse. And he's been around the show since the beginning, I think, right?
I think that's part of his land.
It might be, yeah.
He's the landowner or part
He's
of
a part of the
land.
investment group or something, even if it is via his land.
Yeah.
He's always in the war room on, like, important matters.
Well, his father was the original...
Barkhouse?
Yeah.
I thought that was Fred and Nolan, and I know there was another one, but, well let's not get into
matter.
this.
But at this point, there's just more people that they bring up to the show.
Yeah, it's been so many years, and they've added a whole keeping cast of characters. It's hard to remember how everyone's connected sometimes. But they're focused on this, like, seems to be 110-foot depth at the beginning, about like where they found wood. It's this, I wrote this E75 5.6 hole. I remember that from last week. So and they feel like they found the chapel vault at like around 150 feet. I'm confused about that because I thought they had dug it up at 110 last week.
No, the original proposition where the vault is located was at 153 feet.
Okay.
That's why they're digging so much deeper or around it, just to see whether they are in the correct ballpark.
So they started digging a new hole later, but we'll get to that because they kind of reset and showed everyone was in the war room almost. Like it seemed like almost everyone was in there. Alex, Jack, and Peter, the kids, Tom Nolan, Billy, and Billy Gerhardt, and Laird Niven, Rick, Marty, and Craig were there, and Steve was in there from the. It says supervisor. Like I think he's from the drilling company, or he works with.
Or the ones that do the measurements.
The surveyor, yeah, underground surveyor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he like keeps track of all the holes, maybe, and the naming of them and stuff. Because there's a lot on a grid. It's confusing as hell to look at sometimes. I'm sure there's different like layers they can turn on and off
and
to maybe simplify the data.
Yeah, it's a 3D model on the computer, so it is a little confusing when you're looking at flat on the TV.
Well, in the war room, they started talking about going hunting again in the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
So they went back out, and they have a lot of work that they want to do in the swamp, it looks like. But Marty brings up this north area, like, as long as we're here, why don't we do this? So when we get outside, that's where they actually start, is in this northern area of the swamp. And I wrote down that it was like Gary, Alex, Rick, and Billy were outside. Billy, of course, is in the tractor, like, digging. And Rick and Alex, I noticed Gary disappeared for a while there.
Well, he was scanning some of the dirt.
Yeah, he wasn't really getting a lot of hits or anything this week on anything. He was just kind of, I was disappointed. I always like it when Gary's, like, hunting for treasure. It's just, it's something you expect in every episode. So when he's not in it, it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't found much today.
But they did find a lot of logs and, like, it looks like hand-cut plank of some kind, a wooden structure or something underground here that they're trying to, Rick is trying to carefully reveal, I would say. Is that the right way to put it, Nika?
Yeah, they found this wooden planks or wooden structure. It's very heavy-duty logs that they used for the structure. They asked, what's his name, Nolan? I believe, whether that was his father's doing, whether he was part of this construction. And they did that happened a little bit later in the episode, but it's definitely something that he said Fred didn't know of the wood structures. Like I wrote that note down. So they think it's a man-made structure dated back to the original money pit.
Potentially, yes.
Potentially, yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully we'll get more information on the, like, dating of the wood maybe there next week. I don't know.
Yeah,
it didn't seem to be in the next week, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Or this might happen at the end of the season when they reveal all these things.
Well, from there, we went and joined our archaeological digging friends on Lot 5. We had Fiona Steele, Todd Langseth, as I wrote his name down. Jack Beagley was there, of course, and Moya McDonald, who I brought her up last because she had the big discovery this week, which was some kind of a reddish bead, and we found a lot more about that later.
She did. It was a tiny little glass bead that they think it's tied to the other beads that they found that were supposedly Venetian beads, Venetian glass. So somebody have done this in Italy and brought it to the Oak Island.
Yeah, I feel like there's something there, but they are definitely non-committal about talking about what it might be that they are digging up or what its purpose could be, or they just don't really know yet at all. And
yeah, but they don't speculate what it could be. The whole structure, we don't know what it is. Could it be a dwelling? Could it be a dumping ground? We don't know. Nobody speculates about it.
Well, the ramp up is on now because we're well into 2025 now, and the show's going to be over before you know it, probably around March or April. So I'm sure we're building up to something. I guess I don't know what we're building up to, though, yet. And some other big projects from the past have been sort of put totally on the back burner, it seems like. I haven't seen them talk at all about that, like, cart that was supposed to descend underground, like a mining cart, like an elevator almost. And
That had something to do with the water flooding that tunnel.
yeah, no doubt. But they haven't like readdressed any of it in a long time now. So kind of sad. I was looking forward to that. That looked cool.
Maybe they are waiting for some kind of a solution to present itself.
Hurricane proof? Maybe they're waiting for insurance. Good luck with that these days. Well, after we found the red bead initially, we went back to the swamp. We got a little bit more, this is when we found the Fred Nolan stuff, but we also had Dr. Ian Spooner in the house, everybody. And he was giving his expert opinions on things. And basically, yeah, they have a lot more unearthing to do, I think, before he can give them anything real concrete. But I think he's intrigued by what they're finding and wants to see more. Am I putting that right, Nika?
You spot on. And also they want him to date some of the wood or the rocks that were found that were holding up the wood, so they can find some carbon in there and possibly date it to have a better idea when this was built.
And are they also trying to make it match near the area where the old stone road is?
Yeah, it seems that way because he said that this might be similar to that cobblestone road that was built.
Don't make me do it, Nika.
Cobblestone road built by the Romans. Well, it reminds them of the Romans road built in Europe by the Romans.
Yeah, no doubt. So, yeah, it's interesting. I am fascinated that there's all this stuff that happened underground. Like, was all this happening underground near the park by my house? Like where people doing stuff to the land way back when, and has it been covered and grassed over so many times? I mean, it's crazy to think about, right?
Well, when you look at Mexico City, there's a whole city under the Mexico City.
Yeah.
The whole city that's just covered in dirt and built on top of it.
It's amazing. It makes you wonder sometimes what is just buried right underneath us.
Yeah.
Treasure, baby. Top bucket finds. Oh,
Maybe.
I really missed Gary in this episode.
Yeah, his daughter wasn't in it either.
Nope. No, we got 1 week of her, and then she's gone. I mean, I guess Alex came on too strong again. Just kidding, Alex, in case you listen or something. All right. Well, we got done in the swamp. We went back to the money pit area digging again with Charles, and Steve and Jillian were there. Boy, oh boy, this is when that whole Bender thing happened, right? They were digging, everything was going good, and then bam. We got off course, and nobody knows what happened, and nothing.
Blame it on the boulder. There is a boulder.
There's a boulder underground, everybody, that's causing this big
There's always something.
off course, trajectory malfunction.
I mean, I understand that the drill might veer off to one side or the other, right or left, but I thought they put some casings, like iron casings, where the drill goes. So maybe it's on the top part and then the drill goes through
it must
that.
be. Something
Okay.
probably tells them too that it went like haywire or didn't
To the
stay
left,
even.
to the right.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? They got some expensive drilling tech there though, that's for sure, and they're going deep. Anyways, well, after we get all that, we go to the laboratory, everybody, and a crowded laboratory. It was Rick, Jack, Emma, Laird, Moya, and Alex. Moya was there explaining her bead discovery. She was all proud.
Impressive. Most impressive.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
Cool bead. But Emma came in and did all the testing on it using the XRF I wrote down. That's the X-ray fluorescent scanner, I think.
Oh, cool.
But anyways, the bead, we got some more information about the find, and it was confirmed to be Venetian, early 1700s or before. And everyone seems to feel like that structure is starting to reveal that it's a connection to the money pit area, and everything predates the original money pit, which is the late 1700s and the 1790s.
It's
So-
interesting to look at it from that perspective? Because somebody had to bring those glass beads
Yeah.
to that island.
Yeah, 100%. But unfortunately, drilling in the money pit now is kind of, as I wrote at the beginning, stalled out. And we go back out to the swamp, and it seems like they want to focus on this connection to Sir William Phipps again, because I think some of the artifacts that were found last year around this time actually were revealed to be connected to like his time period or something. And
Is it part of that big ship, the wooden planks from the Spanish Armada?
no, it was the metal. They show the metal workings throughout the episode. They look like really rusty old metal. That is what they're talking about here, is like carbon dated to be from England during his time period. He's a really fascinating historical figure as we're learning more about him. He has a connection to the Salem witch trials, believe it or not.
So is he part of a Spanish Inquisition?
No, but he did die at like the age of 45 or something. Or in 1695, he was arrested and then died the same year. So
What was
probably
he arrested for?
withholding treasure.
Oh, no shit.
No shit.
So is that the treasure that they are looking for?
I don't know,
potentially?
but I does that mean it's rightfully King Charles's treasure?
Well, he's dead.
The new one?
Oh, you're talking about current?
Yeah. Does it belong to the crown?
I think England and Canada are two separate countries now, so I'm not sure how that works.
Is Charles going to invade Oak Island and take his treasure back?
With what army? Maybe a fleet.
The Queen. The Queen would have done it, damn it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they will find something in that north part of the swamp.
Now that seems more interesting again. Just based on everything that was being done this week. But they cannot find any luck drilling, I feel like, lately. Anyways, I think that was about all the notes that I had for this week's episode. We then got a look at the next time on the Curse of Oak Island, and it looks like they're going to find some weird brick structure underground in the swamp area. It's definitely like a orangish.
Oh, so it is the actual brick?
I can't, it did look brickish to me, but I could be wrong. Could have
I
just
thought
been
it was
wood.
wood.
Okay. Well, remains to be seen. It looks intriguing, though. It's definitely like a man-made looking circular object. So
Definitely.
fascinating. I don't know if we had any drilling like teases in the next episode, but I do believe we had Gary finding something and people getting excited about like, holy crap. Like they showed Jack. Now Jack can get overexcited for nothing, so no offense, Jack.
But
I love your enthusiasm, though, buddy.
perfect. So they're gonna find something in the lot 5.
Yeah,
because-
either that or lot 4, which is where like Gary goes off sometimes
Okay.
with people.
Yeah, because they're gonna go and analyze whatever they find, and they are all looking surprised that they were not expecting the analysis to come back with the whatever it comes back with.
Correct.
Okay. Well, so we have to wait till next week to find out what it is.
Exactly. So there are some finds to come. All right. Well, I'll turn it back over to you for a second. What do you think of the episode this week? How did you find it? I found it to be a little bit lacking.
Typical Oak Island style. Tease a lot, show as little as possible, as long as you keep coming back. But people do come back. It is intriguing.
Yeah, I was really intrigued recently with the way things were going, and I feel like this is where it just kind of just all stalled out, like it's making me wonder what's going to be the buildup though for the end of the year. Are they going to push through, no pun intended, and actually find something in the money pit area, or is all this drilling going to be kind of left open-ended? Probably maybe
next
more the
season?
latter, but I guess I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe this was just a minor setback and there'll be back to figuring out some solution to the drilling. Like whatever's happening there shouldn't be happening, right? I mean, I hate to ask the obvious question. I know it's heavy ass machinery, but like, can we just scoot it over a little bit and get out of the way of the boulder and resume? Like, I mean, like, why is this becoming so, and is it too close of a hole to the other existing hole? I don't know. Like, there's probably so much crap holes dug that the whole ground could collapse at any moment.
That's a good point. Because if you recall, when they survey that area, they drill holes to put the casing in the, like, I don't remember how far apart they were. And I think those are the holes that they already have on the map. So they can only drill in those holes.
Fascinating.
So they cannot just come up like, oh, let's drill 2 inches to the left and make a new hole. They are spread out certain way as a grid in order for them to drill. I could be wrong, but I remember them surveying that area and making a bunch of dots.
That sounds about right. I just know they were hoping to get this like big caisson put in. You know, like I go back to the beginning what they were talking about. Like they wanted to find the chapel vault and confirm that it was that, and then they wanted to put this big caisson if it was conclusive, and like start trying to find the money pit and the treasure and stuff. So it just feels like we're a long way away from that, and yet it seemed like at the beginning I wrote down ever the optimism, because it was like they were all like, we're gonna find it right now, and it's like, no, you're not. Come on, get real. I think just keep unearthing stuff slowly but surely. Try to find whatever story this is. I think that's got to be the driving force behind this, not treasure. I feel like there's a few people that are in it for that, and a few people that are in it solely for treasure, and they're going to be solely disappointed at the end of all this, or eventually bow out at some point, you know, and not have the patience to go through with it all.
Potentially, sure. But the stories are fascinating, and the historical aspect of it is really cool to go through this memory lane.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can't dig up the entire earth, but it just makes you wonder, like, what's underneath it. You know,
what's underneath Oak Island?
It makes you wonder, like, when they build houses, even like what's underneath the ground there, like, and what the builders find. Is there like a whole underground community of treasure that home builders find?
Potentially, depends on the area.
Yeah, probably.
Depends where you build. That's how a lot of times in Greece they find treasure, because they start digging and then like, oh look, this is a tomb of so and so.
Tomb of so and so. The fact that this one's been documented the way it has been is so fascinating to me. I mean, we literally have like hundreds of hours now, right? Like, I mean, 12 seasons, 45 minutes an episode, like 10 episodes or more.
We have been tuned into that show since the beginning.
Definitely. I like it just to see what they're doing, and I think it's fascinating that this work is actually getting done. And I think it's fascinating, like, what lurks underground, you know, just beneath you, so to speak. I really remain ever the skeptic that they're going to find what they're looking for at the end of all of this. But all the history is cool. The museum is cool. It's going to be a family museum, you know, with the Lagina family and all these people that are involved. So hopefully that they take good care of it like Rick wants.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady, everybody. And we will be back slow and steadily next week to update you on whatever Jack was getting so damn excited about in that next week on. I'm holding my breath because I don't think it's going to be worth the wait, but we'll wait and see, everybody. Nika, you got anything else to add before we get out?
We will see it so you don't have to. That's the end.
I mean, this recap is almost as long as the episode at this point. The only difference is you can listen to it in your car. But at the end of the day, they're doing very serious, like, mechanical work, and it's also laborious and hard. So
Absolutely.
that also intrigues me as well. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the OIW, Oak Island Weekly. Money Pit has stalled out, but we're cautiously optimistic that new things are upon us. Let's go swamp.
Let's go.
All right.
Till next week.
Next time, everybody. See you then.
Bye.